the work that I do is I am a spiritual counselor, which is kind of like a therapist, except that we deal more in the spirituality of things, feeling that there's nothing wrong, that we have to look at on a deeper level what is it that's going right and focus on what is right in the world and in your own personal life. And to understand that when things are in this kind of what looks like disorder, what is your part to play? That's what I'm always asking myself. What is my part to play? And that's the thing that I ask my clients. What is your part to play? And so I wanted to come on and just kind of talk about that because we are living in very difficult times. And I think sometimes we don't know how to maneuver through it. We become angry, we become sad, we become fearful. But there is a whole contingent of people that realize that we're just in the midst of change. We've been talking about it for a while, that thousands of years of a way of being are shifting into a new thousands of years of a new way of being. And so the question is, you're here alive in a body right now at this particular time. Don't you have a part to play? What is your part to play? For me, the work that I do, I refer to myself as an intuitive wellness coach. So I assist people in shifting and changing things in their lives according to what they're believing in, because our belief system is so extremely important. And we believe things that pull us from the outside. We get caught up in those things that pull us from the outside. But the question is, what's happening with you on the inside? If you move to the feeling nature, your intuitive guidance, that essence of you that lives on the inside, what is it that you are being asked to do? And the other thing that I do is I'm an energy therapist, meaning that I do things, if you're familiar with them, like Reiki and reflexology and other healing modalities that are not body work, they're energy work. So I deal on an energy level and assist you in finding harmony and balance inside of your body. So because that's my way of being and the way that I move through the world, I look at these times that we're in as intentional. You know, that man, you know what man I'm talking about, he incarnated at this particular time in the manner that he is. You know, it's hard to accept that a human being is walking the earth and is in a position that he's in that comes from where he comes from. However, because of who he is and the way he moves through the world, it's mobilizing people in a way that we've never seen before. And this is what is important in order for us to create the change that is upon us. So it's why I ask individuals, what is your part to play? What is it that you are being asked to do? What is the belief that you're going to carry? If in the metaphysical world in which I live, you create the things that you focus on. So if we're focused in on things that make us fearful, focused in on the things that we don't want to have happen, focused in on the things that make us feel uncomfortable, not good inside, then we can bring more of that into our world. We can bring more of it into the world at large if so many people, and so many people are right now, focusing on that stuff. But if we let it take us to inside and a realization, if we can look at what is happening in the world, that as Black women in particular, but Black people have said, we're sitting back, we're resting because we've been taking care of it forever in this country, that we have been mobilized always as Black people in this country, and it's time for us to rest. So as we're resting, it means that other people are standing stronger on their own feet in a solid way. And so once everyone gets solid and we come together, we create the change that is being called forth. I am just so clear about that. And I don't know that I will specifically see it in my lifetime, but I know that we who are here in physical body right now are here for a reason, because we are a catalyst for change. Have seen it was horrible and never want to say it again. I don't know what that means. Can you explain what you mean when you say that? Have seen it was horrible and never want to see it again. Explain what you mean. I'd like to understand. Because what we're looking at is horrible. It is horrible. It's hard. But we have a purpose to play. We have a purpose to play. And the only way that we can know what that purpose is to allow ourselves to move from the outside to the inside. Because in the inside, there's always a peaceful, harmonious, balanced place. And we can find that just by closing our eyes and taking a breath. I go, what am I supposed to do right now? Because I have to do that frequently. When we were going through the fires here in Los Angeles, the first day I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. I had to keep taking deep breaths because it was an awful time to live through. But the thing is, in this country, we've lived through lots of awful times. This is really not new. It's new in the way that it looks, but the feeling of it is familiar. It's particularly familiar to Black people because we've always lived in harm and a fear and a discomfort in this country, always. Whether you realize it or not, always. In order to participate in life in this country, we had to put on a mask and go learn, what do white people do? How do they perform? What do they, and then take it inside to be okay, because it's not okay to live a life that is different from who you are at your nature. But where we are today in this country, in my humble opinion, is that every culture is going, well, this is how we do this. Let me put on my own understanding and my own knowing. And Black people have done that in such a beautiful, magnificent way that I see that's been happening for a few years. And for me, I see it since the murder of George Floyd. We have said, I'm wearing my crown. I'm unapologetically Black. I don't have to explain myself to you. And if every culture can take on that understanding about themselves, then we stand stronger and we can stand together in a world that is balanced, allowing differences. We don't all have to be the same. And I think, again, my humble opinion, it's the most difficult for white-bodied people because they've never had to look at the world of other people, and because it was their world and everybody was adjusting and adapting to the world of white patriarchy. And can you not see that it's falling apart? I was saying a couple of years ago that we are just overloaded in masculine energy. That's why the divine feminine has come in. And that divine feminine is not only in woman, it is in man also. But the divine feminine has risen. And it is, I don't know if you know things about goddesses, but Kali just tears things up and breaks things down. Kali is just breaking things down. There's a word, chaotic. And chaotic means that order comes out of chaos. I believe that's what we're looking at. We're not seeing that it's, what are you saying? What? Hold on a minute. What are you saying? We're not seeing that it like to kill me. I cannot breathe for him. That was horrible. I cannot breathe for him. We're only breathing for ourselves. We're not breathing for anybody else. That's the whole thing. We're not here to breathe or to do or to be for anybody else. We're here to do and to be for ourselves as individuals in alignment with what we hear, what we know to be true within ourselves. And it's always right there. There's an intuitive guidance that is speaking to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, always speaking. Always speaking. It doesn't go away, but we were never taught in this society to listen to it. So I teach my clients to listen to it. I teach them how to understand what it is that is theirs to do, because the world outside is always pulling us to what it wants us to be for its personal gain. But what is it for me to do? And for me, personally, Francesca James, it is to assist other people in knowing the inner part of themselves. It is to assist them in healing their physical and emotional bodies. And it is for me to know every moment to stop and go, what is it for me to do? Like, I came on live to talk about this today because I just feel like we need to understand that we're stronger than we think we are, that we're not, it feels so helpless is a word that people use. They feel hopeless. They feel lost in this tearing down of our society. But things get torn down to be rebuilt in a different way. And so let's be a part of rebuilding it better. And that is done by each individual understanding, what is my part to play? How do I do that? How do I find peace in this chaos to assist in the order that is being made? And you can do that by finding the things that keep you peaceful. For me, when I'm in the car, sometimes I'm listening to audible books, but oftentimes that's when I'm really listening to music, because anybody who lives in Los Angeles knows that driving on these streets is insane. So I call in my protection in my car. Always know that I'm protected. And I listen to music to take me into a different space, a different way of being. What are the things? Yoga. I start most days in yoga class. I used to teach yoga, but I take classes. And I have the community of other like-minded people. And I take myself into the world for my day, into a more peaceful place. It's like, what are the things? Do you draw? Do you write? Do you sing? Do you, whatever you do, find those things that keep you peaceful and harmonious and balanced. They're there waiting for you. It's really not that hard. So I encourage you to take a breath, to listen inside. Crystals, I always have crystals. Crystals keep me calm. There are crystals around me. Oops, where is that one? It moved. I moved it. Oh, here it is. There's a crystal. Crystals are always around me because they help to keep me calm. Find out that thing for yourself. That's the important thing. Find out what that is for you.